The ashes of Earth. They called it the final accord. It arrived in silence. No grand fleet, no declaration of war, just a message encoded in pulses of gamma radiation that hijacked every broadcast system on Earth. You are disruptive, violent, unfit for integration. Submit or be extinguished. The message bore the seal of the Galactic Dominion, an empire 10,000 years old, forged across half the known stars. To them, humanity was an infection, fast-breeding, insatiably curious, dangerously independent. We refused their trade monopolies, rejected their religion of unity, and worst of all, we questioned their authority. Earth stood its ground. The United Earth Council convened in Geneva and voted unanimously. No surrender. No compromise. Humanity would stand together. The Dominion responded with fire. They came without warning, their warships dark and silent as they slipped into orbit. The bombardment began within minutes. Kinetic rods the size of skyscrapers dropped from orbit, lighting up the skies with fire and thunder. Cities vanished in seconds. New York became a crater. Beijing collapsed into ash. Sao Paulo burned until only molten glass remained. In less than 72 hours, Earth was unrecognizable. Major governments were annihilated. The internet was gone. Power grids failed. Billions died in the chaos. No one knew where the first shot was fired or who fell first. What mattered was that the world ended before anyone truly understood what was happening. And still we fought. On the lunar colonies, orbital engineers repurposed mining lasers into makeshift cannons. On Mars, terraforming crews became soldiers, smuggling survivors into underground shelters as they watched Earth's glow fade in the Martian sky. And in the ruins of Nairobi, beneath collapsed skyscrapers, a group of surviving comm officers rerouted a damaged satellite array to send one final message into the black. Humanity endures. We're not done. Captain Rhea Draven heard that signal in a stolen Dominion listening post orbiting Saturn. She watched the playback in silence, eyes red, knuckles white. Her ship, the Resolute, was the last of Earth's deep space fleet, crippled, running on half power, and crewed by volunteers and refugees. She didn't cry. There was no time for mourning. "There's no going back," she whispered. "No," her XO said beside her, "but there's a way forward." In that moment, something shifted. The Dominion hadn't just attacked a world. They'd ignited a war they couldn't comprehend. They thought they'd silenced a species. Instead, they gave it purpose. The death of Earth was not an end. It was a crucible. What emerged from the ashes wasn't what the Dominion feared most. It was worse. It was humanity, wounded, scattered, furious, and ready to fight back. Forged in fire. They called them ghosts. In the years after Earth's fall, Dominion fleets scoured the stars, searching for the remnants of humanity. But the ones who survived didn't scream. They didn't beg. They vanished. Hidden in the shadows of rogue moons, abandoned mining belts, and derelict stations, they rebuilt, not out of hope, but out of wrath. They were the Iron Veil. It began with scattered outposts, old orbital habitats patched together with stolen Dominion parts and scavenged Earth tech. Survivors spoke in hushed tones, their voices low in the dim halls lit by flickering emergency lights. What united them wasn't just loss. It was the need to strike back. At the heart of this growing resistance was Captain Rhea Draven, once a decorated fleet admiral, now branded a war criminal by the Dominion. She led from the shadows. Her eyes bore the weight of Earth's ashes. Her ship, the Resolute, was more scrapyard than warship. Its hull stitched with alloy from 3 different species, its engines powered by experimental reactors Earth hadn't dared test until the bombs fell. "This isn't just survival," she said during one of the first Iron Veil councils, her voice sharp over the comms. "This is preparation. We're not hiding. We're arming." She wasn't alone. Across the scattered colonies, engineers, soldiers, and exiled scientists began work on humanity's vengeance. They called it Project Phoenix. More than a weapon, it was a declaration. A prototype planetary rail cannon, guided by quantum AI, designed to pierce Dominion planetary shields, a feat considered impossible. Earth never had the resources to complete it. Now it had rage. In asteroid shipyards orbiting Ceres, the cannon's frame was laid in secret. On Titan, former astrophysicists programmed the AI. And deep within the icy caves of Europa, nanoforges, once used for peaceful construction, now shaped war steel plating to armor the beast. But even this wasn't enough. Humanity had to evolve. They had to learn to fight the way the Dominion feared, unpredictably, mercilessly, with nothing left to lose. Allies came unexpectedly. The Threkul, a six-limbed species long enslaved by the Dominion, provided biological stealth tech in exchange for weapons. The Ilyari, a telepathic race whose homeworld had been sterilized centuries ago, offered intelligence in exchange for a future. "You showed them you'd rather die than kneel," said the Ilyari envoy. Now others dare to dream. What began as revenge was becoming something larger. A movement, a rebellion. But Draven never let them forget the cost. The main chamber of the Resolute held a wall, a curved black slab etched with names. Millions. Every colony, every city, every ship lost in the fall. She made every new recruit walk past it. Not to mourn, to remember, because humanity wasn't just fighting to survive anymore. It was sharpening its teeth. And the next time the Dominion saw them, it wouldn't be refugees they faced. It would be something new, something forged in fire. The first blow, the Dominion called Veltraxis Prime a strategic logistics hub. To humanity, it was a symbol of everything they'd lost. A fortress world where slaves were traded like cattle, where human captives were displayed in chains to remind the galaxy what resistance cost. Captain Rhea Draven saw it as something else, a target. The operation was codenamed Scorchfang. A single message was sent across the Iron Veil's hidden network. Veltraxis falls at dawn. It was the first coordinated offensive since Earth's fall. No test run, no second chance. The fleet moved in silence. Human stealth ships, black holes rippling with adaptive camouflage, slipped into orbit unnoticed. Dominion sensors never accounted for human unpredictability. They expected direct confrontation. Instead, Draven gave him sabotage. Phase 1, Blackout. Covert agents on the surface, trained from former resistance cells, disable planetary comm, relays using Dominion malware re-engineered by human coders. Within seconds, Veltraxis went blind. Phase 2, Disruption. Hacked Dominion orbital platforms, turned their guns inward. Automated defense drones fired on their own stations. Confusion bloomed across command channels. Officers barked orders. No one understood what was happening until it was far too late. Phase 3, Annihilation. From the shadow of a nearby moon, the Resolute emerged with the rest of the Iron Veil fleet. 20 ships, some barely held together, all armed with custom-built weapons Earth had never dared use in peacetime. Magnetic disruptors, implosive mines, neural pulse cannons designed to fry bio-linked Dominion systems. The fleet struck hard and fast. No warnings, no speeches, just righteous fury unleashed in every direction. In 6 minutes, the Dominion garrison was gone. Veltraxis Prime's surface burned with the wreckage of its own fleet. Prison gates exploded open. Slaves of every race poured into the streets, arming themselves with Dominion weapons dropped in human supply pods. Rebellion spread like wildfire. The humans didn't stay long. They left behind only one thing, a message broadcast on every Dominion frequency, burned into the very code of their communications grid. The screen lit up with static, then her face. Captain Draven, her hair slicked back, her eyes lit with fury. "You thought we were gone. That Earth's fire had gone out. You were wrong. We are the storm. We are the reckoning. And this galaxy will never forget what happens when you try to erase us." Across the stars, a ripple passed. To the Dominion, it was an impossibility, a defeat at the hands of species they had declared extinct. To the oppressed, it was hope. To humanity, it was only the beginning. As Veltraxis Prime smoldered behind them, the Iron Veil vanished into the void once more. Ghost again, but now ghost with teeth. A name written in stars. News of Veltraxis Prime's fall traveled faster than light. Dominion High Command dismissed the rumors at first. Terrorist theatrics, they called it. A freak system malfunction. An internal rebellion. Anything but the truth. But then the footage spread. The image of Captain Rhea Draven, her voice calm and burning with purpose, echoed across Dominion-controlled space. Systems that had never heard a human name before now knew hers. Whispers began in the Outer Rim. The Terrans are back. The Dominion tried to erase the footage, shut down star feeds, silence the whispers. It didn't matter. The galaxy had already seen too much. And for the first time in generations, the fear wasn't flowing from the Dominion. It was flowing into it. In the wake of Veltraxis, Iron Veil cells activated across 5 sectors. Freighter captains disappeared from known routes, only to reappear months later in ambushes against Dominion supply lines. Spaceports exploded from within, rigged by human saboteurs. Prison camps, once guarded by dreadnoughts, now broadcast freedom signals. The Dominion sent fleets, whole battalions. They found only wreckage. At the heart of it all, the Resolute moved like a phantom, striking, vanishing, bleeding the Empire dry. And with every battle, their numbers grew. More than just humans joined now. The Threkal pledged ships. The Ilyari offered telepathic reconnaissance. The Dravari, once Dominion shock troops, defected in entire legions. Something was changing, not just in tactics or tech, in belief. Captain Draven stood on the Resolute's bridge as new reports streamed in. 7 successful raids in 3 days. 10,000 new recruits. Refugee convoys reaching Iron Veil sanctuaries once thought unreachable. But her eyes weren't on the numbers. They were on the holographic map hanging in front of her, one flickering star blinking red. Earth, still quarantined, still blockaded, its skies poisoned, its cities rubble. No one lived there now, or so the Dominion claimed. Draven knew better. "Commander Uttery," she said, voice low, "what's the status of Phoenix?" Her second-in-command turned from the ops console, eyes wide with anticipation. "Near ready. The prototype rail cannon passed all simulations. If we test it in the next cycle..." "We're not testing it," Draven cut in. "We're using it." Silence fell over the bridge. She stepped closer to the hologram, stared at that red blinking dot. "They destroyed our home, burned our people, laughed at our extinction. Let's show them what a dead world can do." Beneath the decks, Phoenix stirred. A weapon born in exile, forged by a dozen species, tempered in the hatred of billions. And now, at last, it was almost ready. The message had been sent. The first blow struck. Now it was time to make the galaxy remember. Because this wasn't just about vengeance anymore. It was about legacy. And soon, the stars themselves would carry a name the Dominion could never erase. Humanity.